Everything is typically fair game in a WWE arena. Steel chairs, ring bells, and even other types of WWE employees. Watch and see how referees, cameramen, and random backstage workers all felt the wrath of WWE superstars like The Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, Dean Ambrose, and Braun Strowman. Before you watch, choke slam the subscribe button. You'll join our notification squad and be the first to know of new content. For those of you who love ad-free viewing and free things, we're excited to announce the Premium Network. The Premium gets you early access to videos from The Sportster, CBR, The Gamer, and many other great channels. Literally thousands of videos in one place with ad-free browsing. How sweet is that? Sign up for free at The Premium by clicking the link to start binge-watching videos from your favorite channels. Tim White's hellish experience. The Hell in a Cell is one of the most dangerous structures in the WWE. Mick Foley was destroyed in one, many superstars have bled in them, and The Undertaker and Brock Lesnar beat each other to a bloody pulp twice inside of the steel structure. While it's typically superstars taking a majority of the damage, there have been times where innocent members of the WWE Universe have also felt the violent pangs of the cell. One of the worst is referee Tim White. Tim White had the duty of refereeing the bitter battle between Triple H and Chris Jericho at the 2002 Judgment Day pay-per-view. The match included sledgehammers, ladders, and steel chairs among all the carnage. White tried to keep things under control, but things quickly went haywire when he was knocked off the apron and went crashing into the side of the cell. He ended up getting injured and shortly retired after the match. The trauma was so bad that White tried to commit suicide in multiple WWE sketches known as A Day in the Life. The first sketch appeared at the 2005 Armageddon pay-per-view in an effort to promote the main event Hell in a Cell match with Randy Orton and The Undertaker. Brock Lesnar's really pissed off. When Brock Lesnar gets angry, everyone in the arena is in danger of getting injured from his rage. He's thrown car doors into the audiences, destroyed equipment, and brutally attacked Dean Ambrose in a WWE parking garage. And all these examples are just a typical day for Lesnar. Now imagine how bad it gets when he loses. That's exactly what happened to an unlucky cameraman trying to capture prime footage of Brock Lesnar the night after WrestleMania 31. Lesnar lost his championship the night before when Seth Rollins cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase during the main event. Rollins then denied Lesnar a chance at a rematch, and that's when all hell broke loose. Lesnar attacked J&J Security, brutalized WWE announcer Michael Cole, and then set his sights on the unsuspecting cameraman. Lesnar lifted the cameraman over the top rope, gave him an F5, and left him laying flat on the mat. Lesnar was suspended for his actions, and it was a great way to write him off TV for a while. He eventually got his title shot back, but the rage would only increase for Lesnar as The Undertaker returned and spoiled Lesnar's chance of winning. Lunch break is over. For anyone that works with the WWE, they know that the company never skimps on catering. Hot and fresh meals are readily available in the backstage area, where you can see superstars and employees stuffing their faces on a daily basis. It's in these same areas where real backstage alliances form, ideas are discussed, and employees get to mingle with the WWE stars. Things typically go smoothly in this area unless you were the unfortunate victim of a Ryback encounter. In the build-up to a Ryback and John Cena tables match, Ryback decided it would be better to attack innocent victims rather than take on Cena head-on. Ryback focused on a backstage worker for no reason and spent multiple minutes humiliating the guy, rubbing food on his face and treating him like a piece of garbage. To make matters worse, Ryback lifts the man up and smashes him through the catering table. He turned his catchphrase, "Feed me more," into a literal statement as food went flying everywhere and the worker laid out unconscious. Not only was the poor man attacked, but there was a ton of food wasted in that moment. Dean Ambrose unleashed. With nicknames like the Lunatic Fringe and Unstable, Dean Ambrose is as crazy as they come in the WWE. He has brawled with the best of them, including AJ Styles, Baron Corbin, and Seth Rollins. It seems like it doesn't even matter who Ambrose is brawling with. He just wants to fight and fight hard and dirty. He proved his point during a backstage segment on WWE Raw back in 2015. While getting interviewed by Renee Young, Ambrose was confronted by Seth Rollins' henchman known as J&J Security. The altercation quickly turned into a huge 2-on-1 brawl. Just when Ambrose got the best of Jamie Noble and Joey Mercury, he spun around and attacked the close-by cameraman as well. The cameraman went pummeling to the ground, and that's when Ambrose realized his mistake. He was later arrested for his actions, but that wasn't the last that everyone would see of him. Later in the show, Ambrose showed up in the same police vehicle that took him away. He He ambushed Seth Rollins, Triple H, and other members of the Authority in a great Raw moment. Wearing a police uniform and carrying a nightstick, Ambrose unleashed his anger on his enemies. John Cone collapses. When a clash of giants takes place in the WWE, it's best to stay back as far as possible. This is especially true for referees that are forced with the task of handling huge superstars like Mark Henry, Big Cass, The Undertaker, The Big Show, Kane, and Braun Strowman. On April 17, 2017, The Big Show took on Braun Strowman in the main event of Raw. The battle was a true contest of big men, and it was referee John Cone that had to call the action between the two stars. The epic conclusion of the clash saw both huge men on the top rope. Strowman lifted the Big Show up for a huge suplex, and the whole ring collapsed. While the Big Show and Strowman laid flat on the mat, John Cone may have suffered the worst of the damage. He was hanging onto a rope that completely collapsed, and the referee was sent flying out of the ring. A follow-up video showcased his head injuries and the dangers that he faces when entering the ring with two giants. Luckily for Snow, that moment will remain on the highlight reel for many years to come. Phew, those are some crazy beatdowns, but we're not done yet. Time for a short breather and quick trivia question. Stay tuned until the end of the video to see the answer. Referees may be innocently attacked, but sometimes they are in on the act. Can you name which former WWE star acted as a fake referee during a 2012 Hell in a Cell match between CM Punk and Ryback? A cameraman in a cell. The first ever Hell in a Cell match took place in 1997 and involved WWE legends The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. The match is filled with many memorable highlights that are still talked about today. This includes Shawn Michaels getting knocked off the side of the cell, a bloodbath inside of the ring, and the debut of Kane. Often getting lost among these highlights is the cameraman that quickly learned how dangerous this structure could be. During the middle of the match, a cameraman stood between the cell structure and the ring. Out of nowhere, Shawn Michaels was thrown over the top rope and landed right on the cameraman. Was it bad placement and an innocent mistake? Maybe, but Shawn Michaels didn't see it that way. Not only was the cameraman knocked out, but Michaels further continued the onslaught with a barrage of punches and kicks. The replay showed the crazy encounter from the cameraman's angle as Michaels was launched onto it. The injury allowed ring officials to open the cell door, which in turn allowed Michaels and The Undertaker to extend their battle to the outside. Mark Henry's audio issues. After so many years in the WWE, it's pretty obvious that the world's strongest man, Mark Henry, can snap in an instant. The larger-than-life superstar has taken out his aggression on opponents like John Cena, The Big Show, The Undertaker, and Randy Orton, among others. During an episode of SmackDown, he let his frustrations get even worse by taking it out on a poor employee. Henry was in a match against Randy Orton with title implications, when The Big Show's music randomly started playing. Taking advantage of the distraction, the Viper Orton struck Henry with an RKO and won the match. Henry was angry, and he had every right to be. Instead of blaming The Big Show, he decided to take out his frustrations on a much smaller target. Henry headed over to the audio table to confront one of the technicians. After a brief argument, Henry's aggressive side came out like a beast as he attacked the man and threw him into the cement floor below. The attack really showed off Henry's strength, and while the audio technician shouldn't have been attacked, there was really no reason for The Big Show's music to start playing. A super kick marathon. There are so many ways that Shawn Michaels' super kick can be effective. He can create a slow build in the corner, nail the move out of nowhere, or reverse someone else's move into a spectacular super kick. It's the super kicks that come out of nowhere that tend to provide the most entertainment and excitement. They're known as sweet chin music for a reason, and Michaels used the 2006 Cyber Sunday pay-per-view to show off some of these moves. During a backstage segment with Triple H, Michaels expressed his frustrations that they are not viewed as controversial enough in the eyes of Eric Bischoff and the other WWE employees. Michaels could only think of one way to remedy the situation, and that was with random super kicks to unsuspecting WWE employees in the backstage hall. The first kick went to Chad, a random production worker who had the unfortunate circumstance of standing close to D-Generation X. Michaels continues to parade down the hall, delivering sweet chin music to an employee, holding a pile of papers, and then another that just got in his way. There was no word on the fate of those victims as DX returned later in the night for a tag team match against Rated RKO, where they acted like nothing at all happened. Baron Corbin's uncontrollable rage. Baron Corbin entered the WWE as a lone wolf, and he has stayed that way. Unafraid to confront anyone in the locker room, Corbin has gone toe-to-toe with Dean Ambrose, AJ Styles, and John Cena, among others. One of his more recent feuds was with SmackDown's newest star, Sami Zayn. Zayn joined the SmackDown Blue and was quickly confronted by Corbin. Their feud lasted for multiple weeks and led to a brutal segment on the SmackDown post-show known as Talking Smack. As Zayn was getting interviewed, Corbin attacked him from behind. He proceeded to beat Zayn all over the Talking Smack set, and eventually some referees were sent in to stop the situation. Corbin wasn't finished with Zayn yet, and in a fit of rage, he shoved a referee to the side. Corbin realized what he did and expressed his frustrations, but it was too late. After the violent incident, Shane McMahon was forced to suspend Corbin from SmackDown for 1 week. His return sparked a new push for Corbin, and now the Lone Wolf is a Money in the Bank winner, looking for his chance to cash in and win the title. A WrestleMania leap. It may be hard to choose the greatest WrestleMania match of all time, but many wrestlers will put the WrestleMania 25 bout between The Undertaker and Shawn Michaels right at the top of their list. These two put on an amazing battle with a lot of back and forth action and great in-ring psychology. The match was so great that the two had a rematch the following year. There were many highlights in their battle, and one of them involved the outside of the ring and the unfortunate positioning of a cameraman. As Shawn Michaels stood near the WrestleMania ramp, The Undertaker sat in the ring and saw the perfect opportunity to perform his huge leap move. He launched himself out of the ring, but Michaels saw it coming the whole way and pulled a cameraman over to take the hit instead. The Undertaker collided with the worker and both fell to the ground. You would think that an untrained tech worker would take the bulk of the damage, but it was actually The Undertaker. The Undertaker landed straight on his head and nearly broke his neck. 1 or 2 more inches of adjustment and the whole match could have ended right there. Thanks for watching. Now let's see if you were right with our trivia question. Brad Maddox was the WWE superstar that posed as a referee during the 2012 Hell in a Cell pay-per-view. He went on to become the general manager of Raw several months later. Well, there you have it. What moment do you think was the most violent? Are there any that we missed? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe to The Sportster on YouTube so you can stay up to date with our awesome videos.